If you've ever hit a goal and felt the high last about 5 minutes before the old emptiness crept right back in, this video is for you. You know the cycle. You tell yourself that once you get the promotion, once you find the person, once your body looks a certain way, once your bank account hits that number, then you'll finally relax. Then you'll finally feel safe, worthy, free. And then you get there and the feeling evaporates and your mind immediately scans for the next thing that's still missing. That's not a personal failure. That's a sign pointing to something most people never figure out. It was never about the destination. It was never about the thing you were chasing. I'm going to walk you through why that is, and more importantly, how to get off the treadmill without giving up on your dreams. Most of us are raised inside a very quiet, very powerful conditioning that certain feelings must be earned. You don't get to feel proud until the report card says so. You don't get to feel carefree until the responsibilities are handled. You don't get to feel chosen until someone picks you. So we grow up treating peace, worthiness, and joy like they're locked in a vault and we need a specific key. The degree, the title, the relationship status, the number on the scale. We spend years stacking up conditions. I'll feel abundant when my income doubles. I'll feel desirable when I lose the weight. I'll feel like I've arrived when I get that one breakthrough. And in the meantime, we withhold permission to enjoy the life that's already unfolding. This is the conditional feeling trap. It's so baked into our thinking that we mistake it for being responsible or motivated. But it's not a strategy. It's a postponement of living. Esther Hicks teaches something that stopped me in my tracks. The feeling you're chasing is available now, not later. The destination was never the point. The feeling was the point all along, and the feeling doesn't need the external condition to be real in your body today. I've organized this video into 4 parts, just to keep it digestible, but the thread that runs through all of them is this: you can stop waiting. The permission slip you've been seeking from the world is in your own hand right now. So let's go deeper into this trap. From childhood, we absorb the message that you don't get comfort until you've been uncomfortable enough. You finish the homework, then you can play, you behave, then you get affection. And our nervous systems encoded that pattern. Good feelings are a delayed reward for struggle. As adults, we replicate it endlessly. We think we need the justification of a result to allow ourselves to exhale. But here's the painful truth I had to swallow. Postponing your emotional well-being until the goal is reached is the very thing keeping the goal at arm's length. Because what you emit while you're in the waiting room is lack. I don't have it yet. I'm not there yet. Something is missing. And that frequency of lack is what the universe keeps reflecting back to you. There's real biology behind this. When your mind fixates on what's missing, your brain interprets it as a threat. Cortisol floods your system. Your field of vision literally narrows, both physically and metaphorically. You can't perceive creative solutions when your brain is in survival mode. But when you deliberately generate feelings of ease, safety, or freedom right now without needing a reason, your body releases the tension. Your brain shifts out of fight or flight. Suddenly, opportunities become visible. You start noticing doors that were always there but seemed invisible when you were gripped by lack. So, accessing the feeling first isn't pretend positivity, it's a biological upgrade. I want you to try something with me. Think about the thing you want most right now. Ask yourself, why do I want it? Don't answer with the surface goal. Dig. If you want more money, what's the feeling underneath? Is it relief? Is it the ability to breathe without your chest being tight? Is it the feeling of being capable, of being sovereign? If you want a partner, what's the actual feeling? Is it being seen? Is it being adored? Is it the comfort of knowing someone has your back? Those core desires, relief, security, being seen, chosen, powerful, free, those are not locked away in a future achievement. They are frequencies you can practice feeling right now. The goal was just a vehicle your mind picked to try to get there. But you can drop the middleman, feel the feeling first, and the vehicle often shows up on its own in ways you didn't need to micromanage. I'll give you a personal example. For the longest time, I chased being recognized. I thought if I could just get enough eyes on my work, enough validation, then I would finally feel like I mattered. And I hit moments of recognition, and they felt good for about a day, and then the same hollow ache returned, because I hadn't given myself permission to feel significant unless strangers confirmed it. I was outsourcing my worth. The turning point came when I asked myself, if I never got another piece of external validation, could I still give myself the feeling of being significant right now, in this room, by my own measure? And I started practicing that. I started treating myself like someone who was already chosen by life itself. And the desperation for the goal softened. And weirdly, that's when more recognition started flowing in. Because I was no longer chasing from lack. I was inviting from wholeness. Now, this is where the mindset conversation gets real, because resistance is sneaky. It dresses up as rationality. It says, I can't feel secure yet, I have real problems. Or, it's irresponsible to feel free when I still have debt. And that sounds so logical. But what if that logic is actually the lock on the cage? I learned that being obsessed with the how and the when and the current facts was just my fear trying to keep me safe in the familiar. Resistance will always give you a list of very convincing reasons why you can't shift your vibration yet. But those reasons are just old mental loops wearing a costume. The key is to distinguish between your current circumstances and your desired emotional state. Your current circumstances are a snapshot of past thoughts. They're yesterday's broadcast, not tomorrow's destiny. But if you keep staring at the snapshot and narrating it like it's permanent, you keep it alive. I'm still in debt. I'm still single. I still feel stuck. Every time you say that, you place a repeat order. To change the trajectory, you have to let the current snapshot just be there without feeding it all your attention. Your point of attraction is shaped by your dominant vibration, not by the temporary numbers on a screen. So you stop telling the story of what is and you start telling the story of what you're choosing to feel into. Overanalyzing your current state is one of the biggest traps. When you wake up and immediately take inventory of everything that's not where you want it, your body, your finances, your love life, you're pouring energy into the gap. And that gap feels enormous, which generates despair, which makes shifting feel impossible. The pivot is to gently redirect your focus, not to deny reality, but to stop marinating in it. You can acknowledge the facts without making them your identity. You can look at a balance and say, that's where it is today, without adding, and that means I'm behind and it'll never change. The story you attach to the number is the vibration you're emitting. Your emotional state is a habit, and like any habit, it can be rewired. There's an emotional scale that goes from fear and powerlessness at the bottom, up through anger, frustration, hope, belief, to joy and freedom at the top. Most people live in a narrow band, as maybe a hum of low-grade worry, mild frustration, or disappointment, and they think it's just their personality. But it's actually a practiced frequency. You've thought those thoughts so often that they feel automatic, like a default setting. The good news is you can incrementally climb the scale. You don't have to go from despair to bliss in one leap. You can reach for relief, then for hopefulness, then for expectation. Each step up is progress, and you'll feel the difference physically. So the work isn't to figure out every action step to the goal. The work is to close the vibrational gap between how you feel now and how you would feel if that desire were already here. And you do that by finding a way to feel a little better right now with what's already in front of you. This is where a practice I call feel it first comes in. Most people try to visualize the details of the dream house, the car, the title, but I want you to start with the feelings, not the images. Close your eyes and ask, if I were already living in that reality, what would my body feel like? Maybe it's spaciousness in your chest, warmth in your belly, a sense of quiet confidence. a looseness in your shoulders because there's nothing to prove. Now, right here in this ordinary moment, can you let your body feel that? Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a vividly embodied emotion and an external event. When you practice feeling the destination emotion first, you're training your entire system to recognize it as your new home frequency. And from that frequency, inspired action becomes obvious. Another tool I reach for constantly is what I call the pivot rod. Catch yourself mid-story. You know the moment, you're telling a friend or just your internal narrator. I'm never good at this. Money always runs out. I'm always the one who gets overlooked. That's the old movie. And in that exact second, you pivot. You don't argue with the thought or dissect it. You just change the channel. You say to yourself, that's the old story. The new story is I'm learning, I'm shifting, and I'm open to being surprised. You refuse to give the old narrative any more screen time. At first it feels unnatural, but so did brushing your teeth when you were a toddler. Repetition makes it automatic. Now, the 17-second rule. This is pure gold from the teachings of Abraham-Hicks. When you hold a pure, positive thought without contradicting it for just 17 seconds, you start building momentum. At 68 seconds, that momentum becomes powerful enough to affect your point of attraction. So pick a feeling sentence that aligns with your true desire. Something like, I am safe to receive, or I am inherently worthy, or I am guided and supported. Close your eyes and marinate in it for 17 seconds. Your mind will try to interrupt with, but what about? Don't engage. Let that interruption be like a cloud passing. Return to the feeling. Do this daily, and you are literally rewiring your vibrational identity. Which brings me to your vibrational ID card. Just like a passport declares your nationality, your dominant vibration declares what you're a match to. If your internal ID says I'm someone who struggles, I'm unlucky, I'm always second best, the universe honors that ID with matching circumstances. But you are not stuck with that card. You can consciously print a new one. Confidence, trust in the unknown, self-acceptance. These are not awards for perfect conditions. They are choices. You can wake up and decide, today I walk through life as someone who expects things to work out for me. I don't need to know how, I just need to embody the feeling of already being on the other side of my worry. When you practice that new ID, the external world has no choice but to reorganize around your new signal. Remember, the destination was always a decoy. The real prize was the feeling you thought the destination would give you. And that feeling is not in the future, it's in your vibration right now. You don't need to wait until the debt is cleared to feel relief. You don't need to wait until someone chooses you to feel chosen. You can give those feelings to yourself this afternoon in the middle of a completely ordinary Tuesday. And when you do, you'll notice something shifts. The urgency softens, the desperation lifts, and from that lighter place, you become a magnet for the very things you used to chase. So I want you to take this and actually use it. Don't just nod along. Pick one feeling you've been postponing. Maybe it's worthiness, maybe it's freedom, maybe it's being seen, and give yourself full permission to feel it today without any external proof. Let that be your practice. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment down below the feeling you've been waiting for permission to feel. I want to see what comes up for you, because I know when you give yourself that permission, you're stepping off the treadmill and into your actual life. It was never about the destination, it was about the feeling all along, and that feeling is ready for you now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.